Yeah, well, that's the plan at least. Oh shit, my breakfast's burning! Before I left the UK, I was actually a computer programmer. I had my own business, and I was always kind of at the forefront of technology. I was always impressed by technology, although I have to confess that by the time I decided to leave the UK, I was starting to get a little bit distressed at where technology was going, because it was starting to, things like face recognition was a little bit scary. Even the way that you could take a photograph of a person and it would instantly draw a little green box around where the face was. You know, even the processing power on the cell phone was able to identify a human face in a picture. And I was all starting to get a little bit Big Brother for me. I thought, where is this going? If this is the technology we have now, where are we going to be in 10 years' time? And here I am, 10 years later, and I keep in touch with current affairs. I mean, every time I'm in town, I'll go on YouTube and check out the latest sort of alternative news websites and check out the new technologies that are coming out. And there's a couple of things that have really stunned me. Really knocked me out of my seat. So the first one was the Starlink satellite system for internet communication. Now, I'd seen videos about this a while ago and presumed that it was a vision for the future. So imagine my surprise when I find out that not one but 3 people in the local town have already got the system installed, and it's been up and running for over 2 years now. So what's so impressive about that? Well, the thing is, satellite TV, for example, is only one-way communication. The satellite has to beam out a strong signal, and then you can put a dish on top of your house that picks up that signal, feeds it to a box of electronics, and you've got your satellite TV. That's fine. Internet communication is two-way. Not only is it two-way, but the internet communication to you as a customer is specific. It's not the same information broadcast to every customer that's serviced by a particular satellite. Not only that, but the dish on top of your house has to feed a signal back to the satellite. So the satellite is beaming out 1,000, perhaps, 1,000 signals to customers and receiving back 1,000 unique signals. Now, again, for a house to pick up a signal from a satellite is one thing, but for a satellite to pick up a signal from a house, a little dish on a house, is incredible. It kind of reminds me of that system where they have spy satellites now that can actually read the number plate on a car. They've actually got satellite cameras that can read much more accurately than that. But it must be tied to the same technology. And here we have now a high-speed internet communication system that you can use if you're in the Australian outback, the African Serengeti, or the Amazon jungle. As long as you've got the electrical power for the equipment, you've got high-speed internet. You're watching HD movies in real time. Well, the other thing that surprised me, possibly even more than the Skylink system, was a system called ChatGPT. Now, I kept coming across videos on YouTube of people saying they had used ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an AI service, and I'm getting more and more curious about this ChatGPT. I thought, I want to have a go at that ChatGPT. I want to see what it's all about, but I've only really got my cell phone, and surely you can't install a system like that on a cell phone. But I find out that it's actually a website. You go into a website by a company called OpenAI, and you can create an account and then log in and use ChatGPT. And it works on a text basis. You send it
messages as text, and it replies to you as text. Now, so the first time I connected, I'd watched a video of a guy showing me, giving me examples of how he had used ChatGPT. And in one of the examples, he asked it to write an email so he could apply for a job, and it came back with a very professionally worded email that he can send off to apply for the job, maximise his chances of getting an interview. And the next one, he says, I've got an interview tomorrow for a job. He gives details of the job, and he says, can you offer me, he says to the ChatGPT, to the AI, can you offer me advice on how I should handle myself in the interview to maximise my chances of getting the job? And again, it comes back with 10 points advising him how he should handle the interview. Then he asks it to write a children's story about a caterpillar that falls from a tree and has to make his way back up the tree to find his mummy and daddy. No more than 500 words, he says in this text message that he sends to the AI. And the AI, in the blink of an eye, comes back with a 500-word story about a caterpillar called Carl that is sitting on a leaf, and the leaf falls from the tree and he's on the ground, and he goes through his adventures trying to find his way back up the tree to his mummy and daddy. Just exactly what he's asked for. And then he says, that's nice, thank you very much. Now I want the same story, but in the form of a poem. And it comes back with a 10, 12 verse poem telling exactly the same story about Caterpillar Carl. And I'm absolutely astounded by this. How the hell can a computer do this? And it's reacting so quickly that it can't be a human being. It's not a trick. It's a computer doing this. So I go onto the website and I create myself an account. And the first thing I say to it is, I have a math problem. I want to calculate how much time it takes for a boat to cross a river. For simplicity's sake, and this is how I worded the email, for the text. For simplicity's sake, we'll say that the river has parallel banks and the flow of the river is even across the full width. And then I click send. And it comes back right away and it says, that's no problem, I can help with that. How wide is the river? Now just think a moment. In the blink of an eye, it has been able to fully interpret the message that I sent to it, and it's replied with a relevant question. Now that, for software to do that, was absolutely stunning. I can go on and tell you the other experiences I've had with AI, but I don't need to tell you anymore. That was enough. I was a computer programmer, and computers don't have that level of intelligence. At least they didn't. They got it now. Here's what scares me about AI. This didn't scare me. The ChatGPT didn't scare me. I was fascinated by it. I've found out since that the ChatGPT runs on a very high-spec server that's got a lot of memory. It's got multi-core processors. It's very specialist hardware so that it can run very quickly and think as quickly as it can. I asked ChatGPT, I said, well, how long do you think it'll be before we can run this on home devices like a laptop? And it said, well, the most likely way forward is that they will produce dedicated AI chips. You will have a dedicated chip fitted to your device that's specifically got all that's required on it for the artificial intelligence. That's likely the way it will go. That's what ChatGPT said itself. Now, there's a lot of scare stories about AI, about how it's going to destroy the planet and it's going to take over the world and kill us all and all that sort of stuff. But to me, the real concern about AI is we already have the technology to speak to the computer. We already have speech recognition, very good, accurate speech recognition. And we already have very good speech synthesis software as well. AI software that can speak in any voice, say anything you like in any voice. So it's only a matter of making the effort before you can speak to AI and the AI will speak back. And particularly after the pandemic, people are not as sociable as they used to be. And I think people, especially those who are not very computer savvy, will end up making friends with AIs, and their AI will become their best friend, and they won't want to socialize with other human beings. Why would you want to socialize with another human being? Why? Huh? They let you down, they're in a bad mood, they haven't had a bath for 3 days and they stink. You just can't rely on them, and whatever they tell you, who knows if it's true. Your AI is always there for you. It's your friend. It's there for you 24 hours a day. It's always in a good mood, and it always tells you what you need to know. People will get that way with AIs. And human beings as a social species will cease to exist eventually. And without socializing with other human beings, we ain't going to be having sex. And without having sex, we're not going to be having babies. Now, it's quite rich me talking like this, because here I am living on an island in the Amazon River, and I live alone. I visit the town once a week. I have friends there. I do socialize for a couple of days a week. But everyone is going to get more and more antisocial. Nobody will want to be part of community anymore. That is the real danger of AI.